Local government teams shouldn't have to waste time on manual data entry into outdated systems. With Symphony 3 Smart Glue, you don't have to. You can automate repetitive tasks, eliminate double handling, and connect legacy systems with ease. Smart Glue helps councils streamline operations, reduce errors, and deliver better services without replacing your existing systems. It's time to build smarter, more connected local governments. Learn more at www.symphony3.com. Symphony 3, supporters of the Local Government News Roundup. Coming up on the Roundup, hateful attacks condemned, claims of a toxic council workforce rejected, reaction to new drought support measures and a disappointing state government funding cut. An innovative road reconstruction project fails, a dramatic change coming to Sydney's skyline. Another New South Wales Council CEO resigns, a former Queensland mayor planning a comeback, and Perth councils put on notice by the government. Hello, I'm Chris Eddy. This is the Local Government News Roundup. More news from and about councils from across Australia. And brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, the national broadcaster on all things local government, with support from Symphony 3, simple, connected customer experiences. It's Monday, the 7th of July, the start of a brand new week of the Local Government News Roundup. Welcome along. Leading today with the Mayor of Glen Eira, Councillor Simone Zamoud, who's expressed solidarity with the Jewish community, condemning recent attacks on the East Melbourne Hebrew congregation and the Miznon restaurant. In a statement issued over the weekend, Mayor Zamoud said the trauma and horror of the attack is unimaginable. Councillor Zamoud has called on Glen Eira residents to come together in support and against hate and to reaffirm the city's values of respect, inclusion and unity. Moira Shire Council has rejected claims of a toxic workplace culture, calling ASU allegations misleading and harmful to trust. CEO Matthew Morgan told the Cobram Courier that internal surveys contradict union findings. He said, "We do not support advocacy tactics which deliberately misrepresent our workplace," and he's requested access to the union's survey methodology. The conflict stems from ASU survey results showing staff dissatisfaction with allegations of bullying and mental health issues. The state government's drought support announcement has received approval from sector bodies. Rural Councils Victoria has welcomed the $75 million package, which includes rate relief for farmers and funding for water infrastructure, mental health programs and community support. RCV said the package addresses immediate needs while also investing in long-term resilience for rural communities affected by drought. Regional Cities Victoria also reacted positively to the news that farmers in 12 designated areas would receive a rebate of around 40%, while still expressing concerns about the ESVF levy and the federal water buyback scheme during drought conditions. The package includes a $3.5 million Southwest Sustainable Water Strategy, which will replace the outdated 2011 Western Region Sustainable Water Strategy. The Southwest Victoria Alliance welcomed its inclusion in the drought response package as an advocacy win. Colac Otway Mayor Jason Schramm has welcomed the details of the package and the funding for the Sustainable Water Strategy. He's called on the federal government to declare Victoria a natural disaster area and provide additional funding and support. Corangamite Mayor Kate Macon said it was encouraging that the government has acknowledged the needs of their communities, warning that recovery is likely to take years. And Ararat Rural City Council is pleased with a $15 million commitment toward extending the East Grampians Water Pipeline project, which will be matched by $15.6 million from Grampians Wimmera Mallee Water. The expansion will provide reliable water supply to 750 rural properties, 10 towns, and improve firefighting capabilities in the Ararat Rural City area. The Age has reported on council reaction to the state government's withdrawal of millions in funding for a popular sleep support program for parents and babies. The cuts, which took effect on the 1st of July, have forced some councils to cancel group education classes at maternal and child health centres, relied upon as a crucial first point of contact for exhausted parents struggling with their babies' sleep issues. Councils were given just 6 weeks' notice about the funding cuts, which are estimated to total nearly $5 million. Several council mayors, including Paul Klasaris at Monash and Daria Callender at Hobsons Bay, have written to Children's Minister Lizzie Blandthorne calling for funding to be reinstated. They've warned that wait lists for more intensive one-on-one services will blow out as a result. The government says parents will be connected with alternative support options, including phone advice and early parenting centres. Hume City Council has issued a statement addressing a Victoria Police investigation into child sexual abuse allegations at private daycare centres in Melbourne, emphasising that the accused individual has no connection to their facilities. The council has reassured parents about their strict child safety protocols, including thorough staff screening, prohibition of mobile phones in children's rooms, and continuous policy reviews to protect children in their care. Hobsons Bay Mayor Daria Callender also issued a statement on the issue, calling for urgent reforms to the childcare sector following reports of child abuse in Victorian daycare centres. She says there's a need for strengthened safety measures and for staffing shortages to be addressed. In Ballarat, the Courier reports on a trial using nanotechnology to reconstruct a section of Gillies Road that has failed just months after implementation. The council said some small sections of the road are showing deterioration, despite initial successful test results, and it's investigating the cause and patching defects with asphalt. The trial cost $970,000, including the purchase of the nanotechnology materials, compared to an estimated $2 million if traditional methods were used. The technology has been used successfully for more than 30 years in cold and wet climates in Europe. Council Director Bridget Wetherill said while the trial result is disappointing, the council remains committed to exploring innovation in road construction for safety, quality and long-term value. More council news in brief. Bass Coast Shire Council's leisure facilities have officially transitioned to new management under Aligned Leisure as of July 1st. 95% of staff continue in their roles and new state-of-the-art equipment has been installed at both the Bass Coast Aquatic and Leisure Centre and the Phillip Island Leisure Centre gym. A bin audit by the City of Boroondara has revealed that while 71% of waste materials were diverted from landfill, about 4% of household bins contained incorrect items that could negatively impact recycling efforts. Contamination from e-waste like batteries and vapes are of particular concern and pose safety risks. And Maribyrnong councillor Mohammed Semra has been named the 2025 Young Victorian of the Year, recognised for his work empowering young people through Endeavour Youth Australia. Councillor Semra said he was honoured and humbled by the recognition. You're listening to the Local Government News Roundup for Monday the 7th of July. Thank you for downloading the program. Good to have you with us. Let's move into New South Wales now, where Sydney's iconic skyline is about to undergo a dramatic transformation, with not one but two skyscrapers over 300 metres tall set to reshape the city's profile. Sydney City Council has endorsed changes to planning rules that will allow a 70-storey commercial tower reaching 310 metres at the Pitt Street precinct. Lord Mayor Clover Moore says the development will be a catalyst for job creation and economic growth. Meanwhile, a second tower nearby at O'Connell Street, developed by Lend-Lease, is expected to soar to 319 metres across 71 floors. This project will deliver 150,000 square metres of commercial space and include public access ways and a shared logistics hub. The Lord Mayor has described the projects as crucial for Sydney to maintain its status as a global city and economic powerhouse. Acting CEO James Rupre has announced his resignation from Shoalhaven City Council after serving 8 months in the role and nearly 3 years as Director of City Development. He plans to pursue new professional opportunities and spend more time with family. Mr Rupre will remain in his position until the 31st of July, when the recruitment process for the new CEO is expected to be completed. Berrigan Shire Mayor Julia Cornwell says the council won't take second best in its search for a new chief executive after the resignation of Karina Ewer last week. The Border Mail has reported on the comments of Councillor Cornwell, who said the resignation caught the council by surprise following the recent departure of Deputy Chief Executive Matt Hanson. Ms Ewer is taking on the CEO position at Charters Towers Regional Council in northern Queensland, while Mr Hanson went to a position at Griffith City Council. The council is expected to announce an interim CEO after an extraordinary general meeting scheduled for today. Bega Valley Shire Council is partnering with Southeast Arts to transform 8 new waste collection trucks with locally designed artwork that celebrates the region's natural beauty while promoting sustainability. The initiative offers local artists the opportunity to have their work widely seen throughout the community. Expressions of interest are open until July 23rd, with the final commissioned artist to receive $8,000. And Willoughby City Council is taking action against the invasive Spanish moss, a rapidly growing weed that is threatening native trees and bushland across the region. The council has implemented removal strategies in public areas, launched community education campaigns, and is urging residents to help by identifying and removing the plant from their properties. To Queensland now, former Isaac Mayor Anne Baker has thrown her hat into the ring for the upcoming Mackay Regional Council by-election, according to a report from the Courier Mail. The by-election has been called to replace George Christensen, who resigned his position on the council in May. Ms Baker, who stood for the seat of Burdekin at the last state election, says she spent the early part of this year reflecting on her future, while acknowledging recent commentary about council dynamics. Ms Baker says she's not interested in political noise and has committed to serving until the end of the term if elected. Rockhampton Regional Council has launched a $2.4 million solar project at Rockhampton Airport that will install a 976 kilowatt solar system to reduce grid energy usage and save up to 1,600 tonnes of carbon dioxide equivalent emissions annually. The initiative, partially funded by a $920,000 grant from the Australian Government's Reef Trust, supports the Reef Guardian Council's program and aligns with the Reef 2050 long-term sustainability plan objective of limiting climate change impacts on the Great Barrier Reef. And Livingstone Shire Council's new CEO Terry Dodds has announced the implementation of a transformational new organisational structure. He said the new structure is based on a proven leadership methodology focused on purpose, alignment, clarity, trust, measurement, management, improvement and celebration. It follows a 6-month collaborative effort with staff and councillors and is designed to help address the council's growth challenges. News from other parts of the country. A senseless act of vandalism has left ratepayers in Tasmania's northwest footing the bill after a public toilet block was set on fire, according to the Advocate. Central Coast Council's acting mayor John Beswick says repairs to the male toilets at Ulverstone's Legion Park will divert funds from other community projects. It's believed rubbish in the facility was deliberately ignited. The council is also dealing with repeated graffiti attacks on the Leven River Bridge, where vandals have taunted workers with messages like "pressure clean this off." The damaged toilet facilities, located along the popular coastal pathway, will likely remain closed for several weeks while repairs are completed. The city of Onkaparinga in South Australia has secured $250,000 in grants to fund 2 coastal monitoring and adaptation projects that will help prepare its 31-kilometre coastline for climate change impacts. The projects include installation of coast snap posts for citizen science monitoring and data collection at high-risk areas like South Port Beach. They're part of the Council's 7-year coastal adaptation plan and the broader South Australia Climate Ready Coasts program. The District Council of Cleve is conducting a review of elector representation and has proposed maintaining a no-ward structure with an elected mayor and 6 area councillors. Written submissions on the draft representation report can be made until 5 p.m. on Friday the 25th of July. And in WA, to Perth, Planning Minister John Carey has criticised local councils for delaying residential development approvals, saying that some need a kick up the bum. The West Australian reported that the state government is considering forcing local governments to fast-track approvals for small projects like carports and granny flats after numerous complaints from builders about lengthy delays. The West Australian Local Government Association has defended councils, with President Karen Chappell claiming 94% of building permits are issued within statutory timeframes and accusing the state government of eroding local government's role in planning. And Chris Kelly, the CEO of Barkly Regional Council in the NT, has resigned after a 12-month tenure during which he helped the council recover from a $12 million deficit to achieve a budget surplus. He's returning to Townsville in Queensland for family reasons, with his last day to be July 11. Susan Steele will serve as interim CEO while a recruitment process is undertaken to find a permanent replacement. And it's global report time. In the UK, the Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner has announced plans to merge over $1.5 billion worth of capital funding pots, while reducing reporting requirements from 150 to less than 50. She announced the move to free councils from bureaucracy at last week's LGA conference, and also committed to funding councils based on need in a fair and transparent way. South Cambridgeshire District Council has released details of an independent analysis of its controversial 4-day week work trial, which showed significant improvements in service delivery and staffing metrics. 21 of 24 monitored services either improved or stayed the same. While the trial has received mixed resident feedback, the council says it demonstrated clear organisational benefits, including a 120% increase in job applications, 40% reduction in staff turnover, and nearly £400,000 in yearly savings from reduced agency worker reliance. Continuation of the 4-day week arrangement is yet to be considered by the council. In Estonia, the City Council of Tallinn is facing potential dissolution as political tensions reach a boiling point, according to news site ERR. The Reform Party has called an extraordinary council meeting for tomorrow, July 8, to hold a vote of no confidence in the mayor, Yevgeny Osinovsky. Despite their mayoral candidate withdrawing his bid, Reform still plans to express no confidence in the current administration and move to the opposition until the October elections. If the motion passes and a new mayor isn't elected within 2 months of the no-confidence vote, the entire City Council will be deemed dysfunctional and disbanded just weeks before the scheduled October 19 elections. Political dysfunction in Canada as well. CBC reports on a widening political divide at Kamloops City Council after the Mayor, Reid Hamer-Jackson's push for a forensic audit of all city departments was decisively defeated in an 8-1 vote. The contentious council meeting saw heated exchanges between the Mayor and other councillors, particularly with Councillor Mike O'Reilly, whom the Mayor accused of conflict of interest violations, and Councillor Katie Neustadter, with whom the Mayor has an ongoing legal battle. It's just the latest chapter in a political drama that has cost Kamloops taxpayers reportedly over $1.5 million in legal fees since the current council was elected in 2022. In New Zealand, the Otago Central Lakes region has advanced to the next stage of negotiations for a 10-year regional deal partnership with the government. The Otago Daily Times reported that the partnership, involving the Otago Regional Council, Central Otago District Council and Queenstown Lakes District Council, aims to address the region's growing infrastructure challenges amid rising population and tourism numbers. Infrastructure Minister Chris Bishop announced that congestion charges or tolls could be implemented in Queenstown as part of the deal, with the region also expected to explore mass rapid transit options, potentially including gondolas or cable cars to bypass road networks. The government's City and Regional Deals initiative focuses on 10-year strategic partnerships to promote economic growth, housing development and infrastructure improvements across New Zealand. And Auckland Council has launched a new marketing campaign to address the growing problem of roaming dogs, featuring emotive TV commercials from 3 perspectives to encourage dog owners to keep their pets contained. The council receives approximately 15,000 reports of roaming dogs annually and has invested over $5 million in additional funding for animal management, while advocating for legislative changes to strengthen enforcement powers against irresponsible dog owners. That's the Local Government News Roundup for Monday the 7th of July, edition number 473. If you have comments, feedback or story ideas, you can send an email to lgweeklynews@gmail.com or press the send a text button in your podcast player. The Roundup is brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, the national broadcaster on all things local government, with support from Symphony 3. Simple, connected customer experiences. Find out more about this episode at lgnewsroundup.com. The Local Government News Roundup is recorded in the city of Greater Geelong, Victoria, on the land of the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation. Until our next episode, thanks for listening, and bye for now. The next VLGA-LGIU Global Executive Live panel is on Tuesday the 22nd of July, exploring the topic of building the local economy. It will be held online from 5:30pm to 7pm, with panellists including Dr. Angela Jackson from the Australian Productivity Commission, David Marlowe, Chief Executive of Third Life Economics, and Merrin Tinkler, Manager Economy and Culture at Mount Alexander Shire Council. They'll explore the role of local government in economic growth, ways to ensure local economic planning remains resilient to economic changes, and what the shared challenges and opportunities are for local economic performance. Global panels are free for VLGA members and alumni and $60 for non-members. Visit the VLGA website to register now.